Hello, I'm Peter Bergman. This is my official YouTube channel. I'll be updating you with the latest news, so please subscribe to my channel.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is a beautifully chaotic day here, and we are absolutely thrilled to dive into the latest shockers shaking up Genoa City. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and let's get right into the madness. Okay, I literally cannot believe this. Can we please process this mess together? Might delete this later, but I seriously can't stay silent about this anymore. It is currently 3 a.m. My eyes are bleeding from staring at my monitors. My sleep schedule is a mythological concept at this point, and I just hit record because this grueling, decade-long journey with this show has finally pushed me entirely over the edge. I am ditching the script. I am breaking all the filters. You are getting the raw, unfiltered, hard truths because my psychological fallout has officially hijacked the frame before I can even begin to deconstruct the absolute chaos that triggered it. Please tell me I'm not the only one losing my mind over this. I am spiraling through a chaotic feedback loop of transcendent hype and absolute narrative betrayal, dumping my unedited psychic damage onto the digital hive mind because I need the only circle that speaks this language to witness my existential collapse. Look, I have been writing for these characters for years, but what they are doing right now is single-handedly testing my sanity. Unbelievable, guys. What's going on here? Basically, we need to talk about the ghost in the room. Matt Clark is alive. Yes, you heard me correctly. Suddenly, out of absolutely nowhere, the literal boogeyman of Genoa City has decided to resurrect himself and secretly crawl back into town. Listen, when I saw the spoilers, my jaw hit the floor and shattered into a million pieces. This is a total game changer. But also, it is the most infuriatingly brilliant major flex the writers have pulled in a decade. Matt Clark, the man who inflicted so much generational trauma on the Newman family that they need a family discount at the therapist's office, is just walking around. Honestly, I am shaking just thinking about it. And get this, he is claiming amnesia. He is basically wandering around acting like a newborn lamb who doesn't know why everyone looks at him like he's the devil incarnate. Honestly, the absolute audacity of this man to show up with a blank stare and expect a clean slate. Look, I know soap operas love a good amnesia plot, but this is low-key an obsession that needs an intervention. Matt Clark saying, "Who am I?" is the biggest joke of the century. And you know who else isn't buying a single second of this garbage? Victor Christian Newman, the mustache himself. Suddenly, Victor is activated, and I mean activated. He took one look at Matt's confused face and basically said, absolutely not. Victor doesn't care if Matt truly hit his head or if he's faking it. The mere existence of Matt Clark breathing the same air as his family is a biological threat. Listen, Victor is not playing by the rules anymore. He is launching a ruthless, scorched earth hunt to protect the Newman Empire. Every single time Victor gets into this mode, the energy hits absolute terminal velocity. He is out for blood. Honestly, we have to deep dive into Victor's psychology right now because it is a masterpiece of regret and rage. Victor is completely haunted, and I mean violently haunted by his past mistake. Remember when he actually did the right thing and handed Matt over to the police instead of dealing with him personally? Yeah, Victor remembers. He remembers it every single day. He is basically kicking himself, realizing that trusting the justice system was the biggest rookie mistake of his legendary life. Victor Newman does not outsource his vengeance. He is looking in the mirror and vowing that he will never let this monster escape again. Basically, he is carrying this entire journey on his shoulders, realizing that his past mercy is the reason his family is currently bleeding. Look, Victor should have buried him in the desert years ago, and he knows it. And why is Victor so pushed over the edge? Listen, we have to talk about the Las Vegas explosion, that horrific, traumatizing explosion. Suddenly, the stakes weren't just about business, they were about survival. Matt Clark orchestrated a nightmare in Vegas that almost wiped out half the legacy cast. Nick, Adam, Sharon, and Noah were literally inches away from being vaporized. Inches! Do you understand the psychic damage that inflicted on Victor? He almost lost his sons, the mother of his children, and his grandson in one fiery blast of pure malice. The absolute terror of getting that phone call, of thinking his legacy was turned to ash in the Nevada desert. It broke something fundamental inside. Victor, he almost lost everyone. Honestly, thinking about Sharon and that explosion just makes me furious. Like, hasn't Sharon been through enough? She just wants to pour coffee at Crimson Lights and give unsolicited therapy, and suddenly she's dodging shrapnel in Vegas like she's in an action movie. And Adam surviving another near-death experience is basically his brand at this point. But still, whoa, I've really gone off chasing butterflies into another dimension. Bringing the signal back, let's stick to the script. We are talking about Victor and Matt. Focus. Wait, why are we like this? I just get so emotionally invested in these fictional people that I literally lose track of reality. Okay, back to the absolute tragedy that is fueling Victor's current bloodlust. We have to talk about Nick Newman. Look, Nick surviving the Vegas explosion was a miracle, but the aftermath? The aftermath is destroying me. Nick is spiraling into a devastating addiction crisis. The golden boy, the moral compass of the Newman family, is crumbling under the weight of the trauma and the physical pain. He is drowning, and he is dragging everyone down with him. Suddenly, Victor has to watch his strong, defiant son turn into a hollow shell of himself, shaking and desperate. Listen, seeing Nick like this is the ultimate trigger for Victor. It is the visual proof of Matt Clark's lingering poison. Victor looks at Nick's bloodshot eyes and sees Matt's smug face laughing at him. Basically, when Victor witnesses Nick's crisis, his rage goes from a slow burn to a nuclear meltdown. I am talking about a level of fury that transcends the physical realm. The Mouse H is on the warpath. He is mobilizing his entire private security force. Every single guard, mercenary, and shadow operative on the Newman payroll is currently hunting Matt Clark. Victor has turned Genoa City into a militarized zone. He is determined to end everything with a bloody, merciless revenge. Honestly, it is terrifying, but also a major flex. Victor is out here acting like a cartel boss, and I am low-key obsessed with it. He doesn't want Matt arrested. He wants Matt erased from the timeline. Wait, am I actually rooting for murder right now? Look, I might be contradicting myself here because usually I'm all for the moral high ground, but honestly, Matt Clark is literal trash. He deserves whatever Victor is cooking up in that dark, twisted brain of his. But at the same time, if Victor crosses this line and physically executes Matt, what does that do to his soul? What does that teach Nick and Adam? Listen, I am so torn. Suddenly, I'm analyzing the ethical boundaries of a soap opera billionaire at 3 a.m. This is what this show does to me. It forces me into these moral dilemmas where I'm cheering for a vigilante execution squad because the justice system in Genoa City is basically a running gag. The hunt itself is a masterclass in tension. Victor isn't just looking for Matt. He is systematically destroying anywhere Matt could hide. He is interrogating contacts, squeezing informants, and dropping bags of cash to make sure Matt has zero allies. Matt might claim he has amnesia, but Victor's hounds are tracking him like a rabid animal. Every time the camera cuts to Victor staring out the window of his Newman Enterprises office, you can literally feel the temperature in the room drop. He is a predator. And Matt, whether he remembers or not, is the prey. Honestly, the cinematic framing of this entire arc is just absolute perfection. It is raw, it packs a lethal crunch, and it is keeping my engagement peaking. Let's take a minute to really unpack the historical context here, because if you are a newer viewer, you might not fully grasp the sheer magnitude of the threat Matt Clark poses. Listen, Matt isn't just some random corporate rival trying to steal a Newman Enterprises contract. He is a predator who has systematically terrorized the women of Genoa City and manipulated the legal system to his advantage time and time again. He has a history of brutal violence, psychological torture, and framing innocent people for his own heinous crimes. When Victor looks at Matt, he doesn't just see a man, he sees a walking, breathing trauma response for his entire family. Suddenly, the idea of Matt casually strolling through the athletic club or ordering a drink at society while claiming he can't remember his past is enough to make anyone's blood boil. Basically, Victor's extreme reaction isn't just paranoia, It is a highly calculated, historically justified defense mechanism. He knows that a tiger doesn't change its stripes, even if the tiger claims it bumped its head. And honestly, can we talk about the logistics of Victor's private war for a second? The mustache has literally turned his security detail into a small sovereign army. We are talking about black SUVs tailing every known associate of Matt's, high-tech surveillance tapping into the city's grid, and Victor sitting behind his desk like a five-star general orchestrating a black ops mission. It is a major flex of wealth and power, but it also highlights how profoundly desperate Victor is. Look, all the money in the world couldn't protect Nick from the trauma of Vegas, and it couldn't stop the explosion from happening. Victor is overcompensating. He is throwing millions of dollars at this manhunt because he is terrified of his own powerlessness. The absolute irony of the most powerful man in Genoa City feeling utterly helpless as he watches his son battle addiction is a narrative masterpiece. He can't punch Nick's addiction in the face, so he is going to channel every ounce of that helpless rage into hunting down the man who lit the match in Vegas. It is tragic, it is poetic, and it is going to end in absolute carnage. And let's not forget how this impacts the brotherly dynamic. Nick and Adam were both in that explosion. They both almost died. You'd think this would bond them, right? Wrong. Basically, Nick's addiction is pushing them further apart, and Adam is probably going to use this situation to prove he's the stronger son to Victor. Listen, the psychological warfare happening in the Newman family right now is exhausting. Adam is watching Victor tear the city apart for Nick, and, Adam is low-key jealous of the attention, even if it's born out of tragedy. The absolute layers of this storyline are making my brain melt. I am literally typing this with shaking hands because the implications are monumental. What happens when Victor finally corners Matt? Because we all know it's coming. The writers are building up to a lore-shattering climax. Will Victor pull the trigger? Will Nick, in his drug-addled state, try to do it himself to reclaim his agency? Or will Adam step in and do the dirty work to save his father's soul? Look, I have mapped out the logic behind this grind 100 times, and every single outcome ends in tears. The tension is a physical weight on my chest. I cannot handle the anticipation. It is a high-octane jump cut straight into my worst fears and my wildest dramatic dreams. This is television, people. This is why we endure the filler episodes for moments of pure, unadulterated narrative adrenaline. So here I am, dumping my unedited psychic damage onto you all. I am a legacy stan who is currently spiraling out of control. Victor Newman is about to commit a homicide. Matt Clark is playing the world's most dangerous game of amnesia, roulette. Nick is fighting demons in a pill bottle. And I am sitting here in the dark, questioning all my life choices. Wait, why are we like this? Why do we let these fictional titans dictate our emotional stability? Honestly, I don't care. I am strapped in. I am riding this wave until it crashes. And if Victor Newman burns Genoa City to the ground to protect his family, I will be right here watching the flames. Please sound off in the comments because I desperately need to know. I am not screaming into the void alone.
Thank you for watching my video. I will be updating regularly with the latest news, so please remember to subscribe to my channel to support me.